I yield myself such time as I may consume. My friend from New York, the fellow member of the Armed Services Committee, Mr. McHugh, and good friend, I must agree with him on one comment that he made when he said, "I am troubled by the course that lies ahead." Madam Speaker, I'm very troubled about the course that lies ahead. That's what we are about this evening. We have seen irretrievable strategic mistakes made in Iraq that put us where we are. And consequently, it brings us to this point where we express a concern and disagreement with the increase in troops in this crucial time in Iraq, and allows us the opportunity to say thank you, we're proud of you, each of you who wears the American uniform. Madam Speaker, I yield 5 minutes to the gentleman from Illinois, member of the Energy and Commerce Committee, Mr. Rush.
Is recognized for 5 minutes. Without objection.
Madam Speaker, I rise today to voice my support for this resolution. For too long now, under a Republican-controlled Congress and a Republican-controlled Senate, the President has been given a free hand and a blank check to conduct this war in Iraq. For far too long without any oversight, for far too long without any accountability. From this, the equal branch of government, this U.S. Congress. Madam Speaker, and because of the Republicans' unwillingness and the Democrats' inability to question the President or his administration about the conduct of this war, we now find ourselves embroiled in a civil war on a foreign soil. We're not seen as liberators. We are seen as an occupying force on a foreign land. We are seen as an occupying army by the Iraqi people. Madam Speaker, we're trapped in a deadly situation where American soldiers and Iraqi citizens are targeted for murder, mayhem, and maiming. Many of our top generals and experts in this field have testified that the American troop presence is the biggest, largest, most provocative catalyst to the violence in Iraq. The Iraqi people are very suspicious of this administration's and the motives of this president, and they do not view foreign soldiers in their cities, in their towns, in their homes as something that they desire. So if the Iraqi people no longer want us in their country, and if the military objective, which was supposed to be the toppling of Saddam Hussein, has been achieved, then why do we still have hundreds of thousands of our troops there? And why on earth are we sending more troops to this unstable and volatile area when it is obvious that the solution to this problem is not a military one, but a political one? Madam Speaker, if we want to get out of this hole, then we must first stop digging. It is well past time for this president to finally understand that he cannot solve the world's problems with brute force, the American military, and our boys and girls' lives. We must begin a serious and political and diplomatic effort in this region to hold the Iraqi government responsible for protecting its own people, and to solicit comments from Iraq's neighbors, as well as our friends and allies around the world, to help stabilize Iraq and to rebuild that devastated country. The Iraqi people do not want to see more American troops coming into their homes and into their cities. They want their chosen, duly elected leaders to step up to the plate and to protect them as they were elected to do so. And they want the foreign occupiers to leave their homeland. Madam Speaker, this is not hard to comprehend. Wouldn't we want the same thing if a foreign military came and occupied our cities, our states, our nation, our homes? This war is draining American resources and stretching our military to the point where we will be unable to protect ourselves against any real threat to our national security. We know that to date, over 3,000 American soldiers have lost their lives in Iraq, and more than $500 billion has been appropriated for this unjust and this misguided war. Yet, despite these costs, neither the American people nor this Congress has been given a reasonable explanation or reasonable grounds for keeping American troops in Iraq to do the job that Iraqi soldiers should be doing for themselves. Madam Speaker, because of our grave missteps, our enormous miscalculation, the situation in Iraq has steadily declined. And there is no evidence that increasing the number of American soldiers at this point will do anything other than provide more targets to the Iraqi insurgents and make the situation in Iraq even more volatile. Madam Speaker, after being wrong on so many counts time and time again, I believe the stakes in this war are too high for us to continue to put blind trust in this administration. The world in which we
time has
live
expired.
deserves more, and Madam Speaker, I yield back the balance of my time.